Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm called Caster Dave, and in today's video I just want to show you guys how you can set up Prisma ORM in your Next.js project. And to get started, I'm here on prisma.io, Prisma docs, where they're showing you how you can quickly get started with with Prisma. And here I'm having a project. It's in Next.js TypeScript and it's on localhost 3000. So if I just go back here, okay, I can just come here and I say localhost 3000. It's already running. Okay, and here they're showing us the steps you can be taking to start the project, saying create TypeScript project and set up Prisma ORM, model your database in the Prisma schema, run a migration to create database tables with Prisma, migrate. Okay, so here is the app we managed to make last time. For those who follow my videos, you remember this application we made, the forms with the image upload using upload thing. So here we are having the data which is already generated, and if I just go back here in the app and first go back here, so if I go to the page, okay, I have this sign up component, so I'm going to resume this console.log. okay, so if I come here, I'm going to just try to fill the form. Let me get the image here also, and if I come here, I'll choose any image I can choose this, and if this is done, it's still uploading. We want to see if we can get this data, so it's done. So if I just submit, okay, and I submit, as you can see, we can get this data, so this is nice. So going back to Prisma, so I'm firstly going to explain why we need Prisma in the first place. So Prisma works as an ORM which connects our application to our database. So in this case, we are going to use Mongo Db as our database. And to get started, I'm not going to use these Prisma docs, because I'm having here, if you go to the sub docs, I'm having this sub docs, this subcoding school. If you come here and you say Prisma, it has a few steps which you can just help you to get started with Prisma straight away. 3 to 4 steps, and your Prisma will be just set up very well. So if I just come here back to the application, what we need is we need to install Prisma and Prisma client in our project, and this will very well install Prisma in the app. So let us just get started with the steps. As you can see, there are just a few steps: installing Prisma and Prisma client, generate a Prisma client, and also add your Mongo Db database URL. So I'm going to just copy this out, and I'll go back to my application. It's just here, so I paste in here. So what we are doing here, we want to install Prisma, which is going to help us connect this, the data we are having here, to connect it to our Mongo DB, to set up everything very well, and we have the data in our database. So let me install this. I'm installing Prisma itself in the application, and we have 2 ways of installing Prisma. As you know, we have the dependencies in our app. When you go to the package.json, we are having dependencies in the app, and you can install Prisma as a dependence. And another way is you can install Prisma globally in your application. So it depends on what you want. So let's just continue. So if I go back to our sub docs, as you can see, they are saying after you've installed Prisma and at Prisma client, you can now generate the Prisma schema, where you can just copy also this npx Prisma init data source provider Mongo DB. So this is also done. So if I just come here, I want you to look at the files here. So when you look at like these files, when we just initialize Prisma, it's going to create a new folder. Of course, let me just run this. I want you to look at like the files in application here, because it's going to create a new file, as you can see. So it has created this file, it's called Prisma, and in it we are having the schema.prisma. So let us just check what it's inside here. As you can see, so we are having, this is your Prisma schema file, and they are showing you how like they managed to make this. You can just go here to learn more about it in the docs, and we are not going to do that this time around. We are going to just continue. So they also created for us the env, and you can see what is in the env. This is the this is a demo database URL link, which like we are going to just change in a few minutes. So if we are done with that, so we can just go back here. So they are saying add your Mongo Db database URL, and of course, if you remember very well, I managed to make a video on YouTube showing you guys how you can grab your database URL from MongoDB. And if you just go back here to my YouTube channel, so let us just go to YouTube here, and I'm having like code with Castor Dev. So if you just type in code with Castor Dev, okay, so this is the video I'm talking about, you can see. So if you just click on it here, I'm pausing it, and if you just go back here like to the description, you see that we had like the MongoDB URL we made, and I'm going to just copy it straight away, and I'll bring it to my application. Okay, so it is this side. I can just paste it here, okay, just like that, and we can just save. Okay, so after this, let us just see the documentation. I'm closing this. Okay, and before, so thank you guys, like those ones who have managed to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I can see I'm having some subscribers, so continue to like watch the content and subscribe. So let us continue. So if like we go down here, they're telling us like to create a Prisma schema, and the schema is something like when you go to like here, you're having like the data. So it's like a form of the data you have in your application, and in our application we're having the name, you're having the password, and we have the image. So that is like a form of the the schema we're having. So if I just look down here, I'm going to just copy like this model, and we shall just extract out those things we are not going to use because our data is less. So if I just paste it here, as you can see, so I'm going to first like generate, but before that, let me first add in this. I think we had forgotten it. Okay, yeah, and I'm going to let me first remove this, and we shall also not need this email verification, and we are going to just change this to password, like to match our data. Okay, after, so we are setting everything very well. So this is not unique. We can first remove everything, and what we shall leave is the ID, because the user cannot be there without an identifier, and it has to be like of that particular user. So with MongoDB, like it has to be in this format, and if it's not in this format, it will not work. So this is our model, and we have called it user. So if you come here to the documentation, you can see very well. So we are creating the last step, and it's like we are creating a Prisma global instance, and I can also just copy it out like this, and I'm going to just come here to the utils, and I'll add a new file. I'll call it db.ts, just like this. So this global instance also help us like to manage the connection of Prisma and the database. So as you know very well, we are using MongoDB. So here we can first go back here, and we shall just do what? We shall generate. So I say npx Prisma generate, as you can see. So and we can push like npx prisma db push. So this one will wrap everything in our application and it will push like to the database. Okay, so I'm seeing here the error validating data source. The URL must start with the protocol. Okay, I think the URL we are having has a problem. Okay, let me first check. It's here in the MV. Of course. Okay, I think let's remove this. It has to be Mongo DB. Okay, so let me first repush once again. npx prisma db push. Okay, I think it's running very well. Okay, and I think everything is in sync. And if you just say npx prisma studio, okay, so this is the Prisma Studio, which shows something which is already in the DB, and we are seeing we made this model. It was called the user, and I expect, as you can see, so this database URL we made, it has like some data in it, and like as I told you, like in the last video I made, when you're having like a DB you are using, you just come here and change the name and they will generate you a new one which is working. For example, you had another or a Mongo DB URL which is working, you just copy it out and you change here like the name. So I'm going to call this one prisma DB, and this one will generate us a new one. So if I just come here once again and I say I'm going to generate once again npx prisma generate, okay, and I'm going to push once again because we have changed like this and we want us to have a new database URL with this cluster. Okay, now we have made a new one. So if we run npx prisma studio just like this, okay, I expect to have like everything working very well, as you can see. So we are having the empty one which has the ID, the name, the password and the image. So this is very nice. So one thing we are going to do, we want to like set up everything, and we set this data to the to the DB we have just made. And to do that, we shall come up with I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call it actions, and in this one I'm going to create like a new file. I'll call it users.ts. so this one is going to help us like send this data to the DB. So these are server actions. We could use APIs, but I wanted this to be quick since we have not come here to make CRUD. So I'll just say use server. We are going to make a create method from server actions, and it will help us like create a user in our DB. So I'll say export default async function, okay, just like this. And I'll just name this, I'll call this create, okay, I'll call it like create new user, create new user, just like this. And this one will be taking in like this data which is coming from this side. So just sending this, I'll say async. This has to be async function, and it has to be taking in this data. So I'll say await. I'll call the other function create new user, just like this. So to be taking in like this data we are having here, okay. So by this I expect this data to be here with us. So I'll call the data, and of course we are using TypeScript, don't forget. So I'll have to pass in like this data, and I give it the form data we have in our types. Okay, so just down here I'll call the try catch, because this thing can also fail, like we can fail to get the user. So I'll say console.log and I'll pass in the error, and if I come just down here I'll say new user, okay, const new user, and I'll say const new user will equal to, remember when we are making like the db.ts, we passed in this instance and we are using the same instance like to help us create a user. So if I say Prisma client dot, and we are calling this user, okay, dot create, and we are creating the a user. So we shall just pass in the data just like this, and if we come here we have to return the new user just like this. So this one will help us to create a user straight away in our DB. So I think this was quite fast, but I'll make another video like explaining you how you can use sub actions to make CRUD functionalities, the create, read, delete and update. So here let me go back to the app, and I try to create a user, and we shall check in the Prisma Studio whether we have created that user. So if I just come here down and I paste this, I'll go to choose files, and I want to choose like a random image like this one. We want to see if this data is submitted in our DB very well. So if this is done, I'm going to just check the Prisma Studio. Yeah, it's done. So if we just submit here, you can see we are having this data once again, and if I go here, I refresh, okay, as you can see, so we have created this user and it's in our DB. If I just come back here, I'm going to create once again another user. I'm going to name it Koza Moses. Okay, so I'm going to just change another image. Okay, let me use this. Okay, I can use this watch just like this. So if I open, it's uploading as you can see. Okay, yeah, it's done. So if I submit, Koza Moses is submitted, and if you just go back here to the Prisma Studio, I'm expecting to see Koza Colin added to, yeah, this is now very nice. So thank you guys, like this is very interesting. So let us just go here to our Mongo DB and we check in the database, like we try to see if those users have been created. So if I just go here, we just click here, so you want to see like the collection we are having. Okay, so it's loading. Yeah, so we are browsing the collections. Remember we called our cluster Mongo DB, and if I just come down here, Prisma DB, yeah, this is the one, and as you can see, user, this is the model. Yeah, so this is very nice guys. You can see the Koza Moses we are having here in the Prisma Studio, and we have managed to connect our Prisma, and it has helped us to connect to our DB. So thank you guys for watching the content, and like for those who want to upgrade on their skills, I would like recommend you to check out our sub docs. This is the sub coding school. Like you can go here and check out like the courses we are having, and you can change your life, like those who want to upgrade on their skills and learn more about coding, and you become full stack developers. We go to our full stack course. You need to build all the SaaS apps, all the backend you need, so you can just check out. I'm going to link up all these links in the video description, and you guys will be able to like grab it and change your life. So thank you guys, and for those who will be having any questions, you just comment in the description and I'll be ready to answer you. And for those who need other videos, I also comment to this video and I'll be able to make those videos. So thank you guys, and goodbye.